You guys, I think I'm in the Illuminati now. That is right, y'all. It is your girl T, aka Nappy Headed Jojoba, not Nappy, not Jojoba, Nappy Headed Jojoba, and I did it! Pretty big channel announcement, I know. But the horse is out of the barn. Once I got the email, I knew I had to celebrate. What? Oh, yeah, email. You heard me. Because that's definitely how the real Illuminati do it. You know, when they're recruiting and such. And I wasn't born yesterday. I've been around long enough to spot a bogus email address. So even though this came from a Gmail account, I can still tell it's real. What, y'all don't believe me? Y'all don't think this is real? Tell you what, I'll put the email up on screen right here. Feel free to pause, screenshot it, whatever you need to do. I know what you're thinking. But T, isn't the Illuminati's money long enough to get something more official than a Gmail account? Ain't they got their own domain? And also, the f is Illuminati Brotherhood's 507? The answer is, mind your business. Brotherhood's 506 was probably just already taken. Y'all saw for yourselves that this is definitely an legitimate electronic mail. Never mind the grammatical errors and general incoherence of this invitation from an absolutely not random Gmail, certainly not a troll account, for me to join the Illuminati. Cheese and crackers, I forgot that it says explicitly at the bottom, please do not disclose this email to anyone else. Ooh, I guess I did an oopsie. Several times, in fact, because if you're watching this video, that means that I did an oopsie at the concept phase, the filming phase, the editing phase, and one more again at the posting to YouTube phase. Whoops. You know what? I'm not even going to worry about it. Clearly, they're pretty serious about having me join the family, what with all the caps lock yelling in this very obviously legitimate email from the Brotherhood. After all, I am the ideal candidate to be an Illuminati gal, if I do say so myself. Yeah, I'm definitely an obvious choice for the Illuminati. You know, working class lady in the rat race with a side hustle as a content creator on a dead channel where I almost exclusively talk about being anti-capitalist. Ideal candidate for the Illuminati. So you can imagine how delirious with excitement I was when I first got this invitation a few weeks ago. Come to think of it, that email came along not too long after I did that video about Patrice Cullors buying that house. Probably just a coincidence. In case you didn't see that video, no worries, I probably wouldn't want to watch one of my videos either. Long story short, my points in that video were the following. Number one, Patrice Cullors buying that $1.4 million home had a lot of people apoplectic, which I thought was odd because of two, while $1.4 million is a lot of money to you and I, it's not a lot of money to spend on a home in Los Angeles, which is where Patrice bought her house. Depending on where you are in LA, 1.4 will barely get you a condo. So when I first saw that 1.4 number, I said, oh, she must have gotten a fixer-upper. 3, again, even though 1.4 is a lot of money to me and to most of you, Cullors has already written a book. She had another one either on the way or it just came out. I don't really know. Whatever. Fact is, she has had 2 book deals and she also has a deal with Warner Brothers. 4, I said that Black Lives Matter, the organization, is sus. Hard agree with anyone who says so. I am deeply invested in the movement, not the organization. I have never donated to BLM, and instead I encourage direct giving and mutual aid, ideally locally. There's no transparency on where all that BLM money at. And worst of all, we have seen several accounts of the families of victims saying that they've received no help from BLM, the organization, whatsoever. I think that the organization's reputation is tarnished irreparably. But, and however, and on the other hand, that has almost nothing to do with the day-to-day, actionable, on-the-ground, actually doing this for real struggle for Black uplift. I also said in that video that despite BLM, the organization's obvious problems, I don't think it is realistic to think that Patrice Cullors really misappropriated funds from BLM donations to buy houses. That would be almost as stupid and brazen as some of the comments that I received under my video. Last, I think the most important point I was trying to drive home with that video was that if people devoted the same energy that they devote to bitching about BLM the org as they did to actually fighting for our lives, then we wouldn't be losing. Stop worrying about what BLM is up to. Forget about them. There is meaningful work to be done that exists completely outside of BLM. All of these points, which I made in the other video and just summarized for y'all in this one, were based on logic, basic reasoning with a soupçon of my gut, because she never steers me wrong, because it just didn't make sense to me for there to be any realistic belief that she was buying houses with donation money. Like, it don't make no sense. Which is why I thought the severity of the public reaction to the whole house buying headline was odd. However, simply for saying so, I was seeing everything from people claiming that I have an agenda, which I do. And it's right here. And on my agenda, I have the gym, watering my plants, filming this video, and then a live stream with my Patreon fam later. Saying that someone has an agenda has officially become one of the top 3 meaningless accusations that morons love to throw at people to try to indict their character while they have zero basis for doing so. It's like calling someone problematic and then having absolutely nothing to back up what you're trying to say. She has an agenda is a limp attempt to defame someone based on all, really. I feel like the Venn diagram of these dipshits and the ones who called me a Trump supporter for saying that Joe Biden is a shit person, that Venn diagram is just a circle. It's not realistic for me to keep up with all the comments that I get under my videos, especially since I talk about a lot of sensitive issues and routinely get several hundred, if not over 1,000 comments. Even on videos that tank, I'm getting hundreds and hundreds of comments. Again, because of the subjects that I tend to discuss. But the nitwits and trolls must have had their notifications on because they showed up early that day. A few of the really early bird morons were so sure that I am friends with Patrice Cullors or even that I'm being paid by BLM. I'm talking the same people spamming with multiple comments saying these things. These people have no lives, I'm telling you. Mind you, this is all happening under a video where I'm denouncing BLM publicly, like, again, because I've done so before kind of a lot of times. For real, I have said really a lot of times that I don't even like the phrase Black Lives Matter because to me it is too demure. Like, matter? We more than matter. So now, in the past week or so, we've gotten this news that Cullors has resigned as executive director, I think it was, of BLM org. There may be some folks out there who expect me to have a lot to say about this, especially because I did do that other video about the whole house buying controversy. But to be honest, when I saw the headline about this, my reaction was, I moved on immediately because this changes nothing for me in my day-to-day, let alone how I think about the struggle for Black freedom, peace, and equality. Patrice Cullors' involvement or lack thereof, in BLM ain't got shit to do with me and what I do. As Mariah Carey would say, I don't know her, despite the insistence of dipshits in YouTube comments that we are besties. If anything, her resignation smacks of a PR rehabilitation attempt because of the house controversy. Furthermore, I believe that this now means that 3 of the 3 women who are considered the founders of BLM Global have now left it. How'd that work? Because I'm pretty sure that Alicia Garza and Opal Tometi been left. Like, bitch, what? Like I said, BLM the org already been looking funny for a while. And now this? Okay, girl. Even more reason to side the org, not the movement, in my unsolicited opinion. There are local activists and leaders in my city whom I trust and work with, but that is really it. The BLM Foundation? Nah, sis, y'all been moving funny for too long. Too many questions, and too many opportunities to answer and address those questions where instead they remain silent. While y'all sit through these awkward slow-mos, I'm gonna powder my face and I'll be right back. And here's the finished look, a nice monochromatic matte eye and a bright, summery, juicy shade, some faux freckles, glossy skin, and big lashes, all the things that I love. I gotta head out of here. I got a live stream starting in just a couple of minutes, so I'm gonna run, but I figured I may as well cut on the camera while I was getting ready so I could tell you guys my big news about being in the Illuminati now. Things are finally looking up. It's all very exciting for me to be able to share this in a public YouTube video with you guys that I've been invited to join a secret society that is based on wealth, even though I'm a fucking anti-capitalist. Before I get out of here, I will leave y'all with a few reminders. As always, stay safe, stay dangerous. There are many, 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 many ways to be a freedom fighter that have nothing to do with BLM International. And never trust anyone with a Morphe code. Bye-bye.
That's a nappy-headed hose there, I'm gonna tell you that now.